Bluetooth. Bluetooth connected.
It's in the game.
Breaking news here is heavy because Brandon Clark wasn't just battling basketball injuries. He was battling pressure, real life pressure, body breaking down, career slowing down, legal trouble hanging over his head, a $50 million contract on paper, but a whole lot of pain behind the scenes. And now, at only 29 years old, Brandon Clark, man, he gone. That's why this story hit different. Because when people see an NBA player, they see money. They see the cars, they see the jewelry, they see the women, they see the jersey, they see the arena lights. But they don't see the weight that the man is carrying when the cameras turn on. Brandon Clark was a Memphis Grizzly, a first round pick, a player that made it to the league. A dude who earned life changing money, but he was also dealing with injuries, legal pressure, and real life problems that most people could never understand. The Memphis Grizzlies announced that Brandon Clark passed away at just 29 years old as of right now. The cause of death ain't been publicly released yet. But we ain't gonna guess. But they said, word on the
Yeah.
from the street allegedly that they found some dope on the goddamn scene. Say he had some dope laying around his body at the time they found him deceased. But we ain't gonna turn this man's death into internet lies. But keep in mind, they say it's an overdose. But we can talk about what was already going on around him. Because before his death, Brandon Clark was dealing with a lot. In 2022, Memphis gave him a major extension of 4-year, $50 million fully guaranteed deal. That means the Grizzlies believe in Brandon Clark because they saw Brandon Clark as a part of their future. They invested in him, and he earned that money.
All right, y'all. Y'all already know what we're here to talk about by the title of the video, thumbnail, all that good stuff. The Kevin Hart roast. And obviously, this video is going to feature what was said by Katt Williams. And I don't think, we should have expected anything less than some of the things that Katt Williams had to say about Kevin Hart, right? Now, we know these roasts are absolute truth for the entire world to see. If you are a fan of the guy who is getting roasted, then you're going to hear truth from his industry peers. That is exactly what it is for. You're going to hear things you probably didn't know because a lot of people still are not on our side of YouTube. So they're going to hear things that they didn't know about. One of the craziest roasts I still think to this day is of Bob Saget. And of course, one of the ones with, what was old dude name? Y'all know I be forgetting names because I be thinking and talking too fast. The older comedian with the afro. And he was doing the roast of the guy that has passed away now. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about, but super legendary comedian. That one and the one with Bob Saget, because y'all remember when old dude, which he's also dead now too, the one that was doing the roast about Bob Saget and the girl that he supposedly did what he shouldn't have done with and like supposedly unalived her and shit. Y'all remember that roast was insane. He was saying stuff that is like, how do you even think this is funny? It's so true. There's no way you could actually think it was funny, right? So sort of the same thing with this Kevin Hart roast. Says a lot about where they're at in their careers. And so we're going to go ahead and listen to some of the roast from Katt Williams. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to cover it. It just dropped on Netflix. It will get copyrighted if there's not a picture over the screen. So we'll go ahead and play some of that, and then we'll get into some reactions from the internet, because people got some pretty good opinions about it, what it all really meant, and some of the symbols surrounding the show. Check it out, y'all.
Hello, Kevin. Hello, Tim. I'm surprised they
And the
invited
Blue
me.
Devils will get us started with the opening kickoff.
It's a little star power you have. They had to start inviting your enemies. They said, I hate it. They said,
No
come
reason
anyway.
to risk trying to field that one.
Very humble of me to be at your goat roast tonight, Kevin. I've wanted an Emmy Award, but this is going to be my best acting tonight as I pretend like you are a goat. For the people at home, you're wondering, why is the Cat Man doing this? For the money, bitch. This is my Riyadh Comedy Festival. Only one with a soul. Kevin, you're going to hear some things tonight that you're not familiar with. Those things are called punchlines.
Skips through the end zone, it'll be a touchback.
Is this day the best that the industry could put together for dear old Ken? I'm not sure if the Illuminati is real or if this is the junior varsity version, but for those of you just joining us,
They'll start this
Kevin
drive going to
Love
the air. Makes the catch. It's Wallace.
You know, the short passing game is a great go-to weapon for any offensive coordinator in the first quarter because it's reliable, obviously, but it also allows you to see how the defense is going to react and play you. So for coordinators, this can really open up the rest of your playbook for the rest of the game.
And the timing just a hair off.
Sometimes it takes quarterbacks a few plays to really get into the rhythm of the game and not force things. I think the quarterback that time was really trying to force the ball to his wide receiver, but against man coverage, there were other guys on that play that were open that could have had a chance. So the quarterback just needs to settle down a little bit. He won't be throwing as many incompletions. He just lets the coverage tell him where to go with the ball.
Looking to the big tight end.
Might not be what you think. I mean,
the opening drive is stopped with an interception.
Literally half.
Bulldozes his way through. And a big return
Nothing
after
to do
the
it.
INT sets up the offense for this possession.
Job number one for a defense is to create
Kevin
negative
only
plays,
one
create
rule in
turnovers.
this.
How about this? Opening
No
drive of the
N-word.
football game, getting the big
And that
turnover,
N-word is
setting
no.
your offense up in great position, and building some
He said
mojo. This
it's never-
defense, that is a picture-perfect start.
Scary movie 3 right along. Night school. Get hard. I turned down all of it because I was not comfortable being a pro.
They'll run this play from the pistol. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game.
Same price. If you're going to see a Kevin Hart movie, do yourself a favor, see it in a black theater so you can hear words
So
like,
frustrating to see an
want my
offense
motherfucking money
lose
back.
track of the play clock and pick up a penalty like that.
well, this is some bullshit. I want my money back. Even The Rock can't save your ass.
Quick pass on the jet motion.
Rock has
The
to
defense
on me.
wouldn't let him loose, and even though
That's
it's a
when two
completion, they lost yardage.
secretly fucking shit out of each
I
other.
like offenses being creative. I'm not sure if that was the best place to call that play. I think this offense needs to think about just doing things a
But
little bit
seriously,
more
how could you
by the
not
book.
love
They've got
Kevin?
a lot of good playmakers.
Only
You
two
don't have to
people have done
reinvent
it.
the wheel this early in the
Me
game.
and his father. Kevin once said if his son was gay, he'd take a dollhouse.
The Blue
Get
Devils
his
with a long way to go after the loss on the last play.
Abuse a child.
They'll go to work in the air on second down. He's got him. They bring him
But you
down,
can't
but a
do
solid
that.
pickup to put them in position to pick up a first
Just can't
down.
do it.
And
Just
the
make
Blue
it
Devils want to move quickly.
They try to
Quarterback
pass
making
the
adjustments.
opponent. And I
Trying to
don't
move
get
the
it.
sticks
I'm
on
saying the
third
guy
down
who's
through the
obsessed
air.
with shopping sprees and fitness,
into the
always
open.
surrounded by
Picks
thin
up
dudes
the first
and
down
Chelsea
and gets
Handler
down to
and
avoid
all
contact.
Samoan
The offense threatening,
bodybuilders
close
and
to the
vegan
end zone now
restaurants
with a new
about
set of
yoga.
downs.
You think that guy told him about that guy? That's fair enough.
Looking to throw. Here comes
You
the
play,
heat.
Dwayne. You do that.
And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Duke. Just
They tried to
blinding
cancel
speed.
Kevin,
Speed
but
that
they
almost
didn't call it.
paralyzes defenders.
When
They
you got a
hurled
quarterback with
allegations
that
at
much
him.
speed, you got to
But
find
they
tricky
saw
ways to
maybe-
put more speed on the field, spy the quarterback with somebody that's really, really fast. And even when you do, a lot of times he still makes plays because he's that dang
Even
fast
Davis
and
Lee
that
was at a
explosive.
brunch.
The offense will have to use its first time out of the half.
But in his defense, it was only because Diddy thought he was 10. Kevin even hosted a record release party for P. Diddy. There was a record number of releases on the bed, in the pool, on the floor.
HDMI.
They get set for the point afters. We have the first score of the game. And the extra point makes it 7-0. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And it was capped off with the 8-yard run.
Optical in. Auxiliary in. USB. Bluetooth. Bluetooth connected.
From inside the 15, chance for a good return. And he'll be brought down after a solid effort on that return.
But I want to be clear. Just because Kevin went to Diddy parties does not mean he did something wrong.
The Ole Miss offense ready
The
to
fact
go
that
back
he gets
to
all
work.
quiet when you bring
Finding
it up
themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here.
means he did something wrong.
He tries to take the top off.
All right, let's stop it right there, y'all. Let's check out some clips from the internet. Look, there's a lot to unpack there, okay? A lot to unpack. Of course, everyone caught her face. It was, you know, she was not impressed. Regina was not impressed. Clearly, there were some very stale faces when the camera would pan. Whether Kevin Hart genuinely was laughing, he laughed a lot. But there's a lot to unpack. Cat Williams saying Kevin Hart was a 6'3" white. Very interesting to note when you think about transferring spirits and Get Out. From Kevin and all the zesty things that he has probably done with The Rock. That was very interesting to note. Cat Williams also said he was the only one in there with the soul. He just slid that in there. That didn't even really have to be a part of it. Tossed that in there. I thought that was pretty interesting. Kevin being a puppet, the owner of Netflix, literally telling him what to do and he does it, has his finger right up his you-know-what.
All right, defense, you got to turn the page. You just gave up an explosive play through the air, but here comes the offense going quickly. You got to get lined up now and get ready for another one.
Hold him back. Yeah, he let loose, and he may have not even went all. This is that face right here. This that face where you picture, you like, oh my God, he's going all the way there. He is serious. He's not joking. That's what that face is. You can't hide those kind of expressions, that kind of emotion.
Well, he was able to gash him on that play. You just
that is what it is. A lot to unpack, y'all. A lot to unpack. Let's check out a clip.
This is in the commentary. Kevin, how the fuck you thought was gonna happen? If you watch any of the Netflix roasts, you already know the contract is up on the person that they are roasting. You know that. We watch Tom Brady career doing a fucking flip. Oh, he's retiring. No, you were cheating with your motherfucking wife, and Giselle is a bitch you don't want to fuck with. She come from a long line of motherfuckers, and you played. She took all her power. That man was like he was sick. He ended up with Hurts commercials. Now, no offense to Hurts, but you can't be the GOAT. Literally the GOAT. And they get demoted to doing car rental commercials. It would be altogether different if you started having car commercials and then you went to football, and like it was like you had 2 in 1. Like if you was in football being the GOAT and you got that endorsement, that would make sense. But it came literally after your contract with Giselle and her family ended, bitch. Same thing with Kevin Hart. First he got into an accident with his friend, and we all know how that went down. Oh, you were in the car with the allegedly in the car with a transgender person. I ain't gonna say man or woman, transgender person, you know, or legal reasons. And allegedly someone got caught. Allegedly there was an accident that was construed and fixed up because they didn't want to find that young person in the car with you, Kevin, okay? Just listen to the bullshit. And then, not only that, the first wife with the young lady ended up outing you at some point, and then you married to this other young woman. And we already know that's a facade too. Like that's not who you want to be with, boo. And we get it. You gotta do it for shits and giggles. So why y'all making up these think pieces on Kevin Hart? And I'm gonna just say this again. Everyone on that stage has had contract with the higher ups, and we already know who the higher ups are. And they do these things. Humiliation rituals. And I sort of record everything that Cat Williams stated from the picture that I haven't watched it yet. And I go down and continue to watch it. I'm not even live. Y'all can see my real motherfucking reaction. Because everything in that clip that he said was not a fucking joke. He was dead ass serious. Some of y'all can now read between lines. And it's unfortunate for you, but you found a fucking creator like me.
Very true. I like that. That, you know, once these roasts come around for a lot of these comedians, that their contract is up. Look, somebody said Bob Saget. Norm Macdonald was his friend and told him straight to his face they were going to unalive him. His jokes were odd because they were cold. He even calls Gilbert Gottfried, which I think he's the one that did, he called him out for being a scoundrel for a stunt during the roast. Godfrey, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that is not alive right now. He's the one that told the story about him doing something to this girl and then unaliving her. It was a crazy, and I think he died shortly after that roast. I don't know how short or how recent it was from that roast, but that one was pretty interesting.
The roast of Kevin Hart was not a comedy show, but it was something more sinister. These people get together. It's like legions of demons in one setting. A lot of y'all missed the trailer for this. I missed it as well, but I recently ran across it. The trailer told us everything that we need to know. The trailer says the roast of Kevin Hart, and it said, "Let it burn." Kevin Hart in the trailer walked up to what was supposed to be a lookalike of him, or a clone, or a wax figure. What did he do? He set it on fire and said, "Burn." Kevin Hart is standing up on a stool and it's fire beneath him. These people put this stuff right in our face. They put it right in our face, and this stuff is not just comedy shows, because nothing about what they be talking about is even funny. But they putting the truth in plain sight, and they trying to disguise it as a joke. Look at the stuff that they think is funny, they laughing, but the jokes were not funny. They weren't even jokes. But this is the type of stuff that demons find funny. Satan would find someone being harmed funny, someone being humiliated. He would think that would be funny. Demons don't have the same sense of humor as God. Demons don't have the same sense of humor as children of God. It was nothing funny about the roast of Kevin Hart. I didn't watch it, but the clips I've seen, there was nothing funny about it. The jokes that were made by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson were disturbing. There was nothing funny about it. It was an abomination. It goes against the word of God. Misleading for children. That's why children believe saying stuff like this is funny and it's just joking, but it's not. There's nothing funny about that. Look at what Cat Williams had on. Look at what this man had on. Look at the imagery in the back. What is that? Is that supposed to be a goat? Is it supposed to be Baphomet? Is it supposed to be a representation of a cow? Either way, no matter which one of those it was supposed to be a representation of, it is demonic. The people that are there speaks volumes, but if those people don't repent, all of them will burn.
Very interesting. Somebody said, so Cat Williams was in on it. Another person, you should see the Bob Saget roast. Highly disturbing. I'm telling you, that Bob Saget one might have been the worst one. I mean, it was definitely disturbing. I'm pretty sure it'll make a lot of people go back and check out Bob Saget's, because this one is a little bit more recent, obviously. It's a little more mainstream these days. Somebody said, let me guess, his contract is up. I'm telling you, let's move on.
That wasn't a comedy special. That was a humiliation ritual. And everything that Cat Williams said on that stage was the absolute truth, especially when he pointed out to Kevin Hart, when I first met you, you were a 6'3" white man. Now, a lot of y'all may not believe in soul swapping and all that good stuff, but it's real, okay? I'm going to just leave it at that. In addition to that, when Cat Williams stood on that stage and said that he was the only one with a soul, he wasn't lying. Now, let's tap into the symbolism a little bit. If you look on the screen on the stage, there were two goats, two Baphomets, okay? The red, the color red, the energy, the whole nine. Now, let me just say this. A lot of people was mad about the George Floyd joke, but people don't realize that that was symbolism. It was a message in that joke, okay? Now, I cannot say too much on this video, but what I will say, if you go back to that time that the situation happened with George Floyd and what was going on then, and look at what's going on now with the situation in the water with that thing, with the people on it, y'all get where I'm coming from, because I can't say it because they will flag my video. So with that being said, just start reading between the lines, because a lot of people always want to see everything ain't that deep. Baby, it is that deep. Everything ain't spiritual. Baby, everything is spiritual, okay? As above, so below.
Off the play fake on first down to throw. Fires to the wideout. Makes the grab. Goes out of bounds, but not before he gets it to the edge of the red zone right at the 20.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is, because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
They're in the red zone. 1st and 10 from the 20. Looking downfield on first down. Quick completion on the out.
So that people here are possessed with the energy we need to have a good time. I don't need to be possessed with no energy to have a good time. I can create my own, readiness to have a good time. I don't need nothing else. Somebody said I was so uncomfortable watching the whole thing.
And the Rebels can play this second down a lot of ways.
Yeah, Cat Williams did not make any eye contact. I definitely peeped that. The 7-minute comedy skit. Cat did not tell a single joke. Somebody said Cat said before he may tell a joke, but he never tells a lie. Crazy, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I think I'm gonna just end it here. Definitely want to get on here and see what y'all thought about this one. Very interesting. I pretty much knew he'd be here as soon as I saw that it was the first for Kevin Hart. I pretty much knew he'd be here. That 6'3" white man thing, that I'm the only one that sold him. Like, he said some stuff that was, was a punch. You know what I'm saying? To people in the crowd as well. It wasn't just about Kevin Hart. But y'all let me know what y'all think. It's Black Balloon. I'll see y'all soon, alright? I'm out.
Looking to throw. And it'll be out.
The syllabus and course content and the delivery schedule and the requirements. Those were the main selling points for me.
I liked that process. Learn something, play. Learn something, play. That's why I chose Great Learning.
We're going to be able to build a complete machine learning application by ourselves. And I think, to me, that's at the very top of what I'm getting out of the program.
They were ready for the onside kick and executed perfectly, and they secure the football. They take over late in the half, enough time to put together a drive.
Who is he?
See what happens next on TikTok. Download now.
Black people who raise their kids together, right? They don't shield their kids for anything. They want their kids to see the world for these because they think they make them stronger by showing them drugs, by showing them all the crazy that goes on in the community. They want them to see it because they know that they can see it. Once I can teach them this at a young age, they know how to navigate their way around any crazy they're going to be subjected to see.
I got to get my speedster in space. They didn't do a good job of getting that guy out there in space where he can really use his jets. Nice job by the defense, understanding it, seeing it, rallying to it, and tackling that guy for a loss.
Do you feel like Jay Prince Jr. is messing up his dad's lips? I feel like Smack Wagner. Because you asked me that dumbass question. I love you to death. Why you asking me that dumbass question when you know the legacy of Rap-A-Lot? Listen, we need to get rid of this mob tag. Ever since mob tag been in effect, that ain't been nothing but a bunch of goofy dumbass mob tags. Rap-A-Lot. When you think about Rap-A-Lot, you think about strength. You think about business savvy. You think about command. Without Jay Prince Sr., you don't have none of it you see happening in the South. Period. Ain't no more Master P. Ain't no more Tony Draper. Ain't none of that. Ain't no Birdman, Slim, none of that. Bird, listen, the South owes everything to Jay Prince. Everything. Atlanta owes everything to Jay Prince. The two most impactful people in the history of Southern hip-hop is Jay Prince Sr. and Luke Skywalker. It don't get no bigger than that. Nobody has made more sacrifices to build and to take control of hip-hop than those two human beings. Jay Prince, listen. So Junior, don't forget, Junior was born a millionaire. Junior is really a trust fund baby. And that's of no fault of his own. Because Senior was supposed to put his kids in a position to reach. But like he said in his book, right? You can't read a Senior's book?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't read it all.
Listen, one of the things that he said, I'm going to answer your question. Just don't think I forgot. One of the things that Senior said in his book, The Art, we just going to call it The Art, right? Is he talked about the dichotomy of how black people raise their children, black people who live in poverty, and black people who have some degree of affluence. He talked about how black people who raise their kids together, right? They don't shield their kids for anything. They want their kids to see the world for what it is, because they make them stronger by showing them drugs, by showing them all the crazy that goes on in the community. They want them to see it because they know if I can see it, if I can teach them this,
later on. What do you do? They so he was at the courthouse, and I guess the same situation happened, and then he raised himself. What's the same situation? He was going out telling people chimping around and all the same. The court,
I know y'all seen Chad. He was charged with attempted. Breaking news to tell you about the social media influencer known as Chud the Builder is now facing an attempted murder charge after a shooting today outside the Montgomery County Courthouse. Deputy, better known as social media as Chud the Builder, was involved in a fight leading to gunfire. Both men were hospitalized. Deputies just arrested Etherly, charging him with attempted murder. We got Charleston White speaking on Sheriff the Builder being arrested. You hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, man. Let's see what Charleston White had to say about Chud.
For the previous game, and then when he went out of the courthouse, somebody started harassing him, and he asked him if he was going to chimp out, and then he got sucker punched, and then Chud responded by shooting him, and then he got grazed himself. Now charged. Yeah. I don't know how laws work in Tennessee. I don't think nowhere in America, if I got hands and you got a gun and I punch you, you can shoot me.
Looking to throw
you're right. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do it.
Pass is incomplete.
I don't know how laws work in Tennessee or none of that, but I don't think nowhere in America, if I got hands and you got a gun and I punch you, you can shoot me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do it. Because I don't pose an imminent threat to your life.